If you found this, it's probable that you're looking for a tiny little light to make a big improvement on your videos. Man, that was so corny. Roll the intro. Internet, what's going down? It's Robert Teegarden back again with another video for you. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Robert Teegarden, like I think I said. It's Robert Teegarden back again with another video. I make content here on filmmaking tips in the business of being a creative. If you like what you see here, go ahead and click subscribe. Trying to grow this wonderful community and would love for you to be a part of it. Chances are you're trying to figure out a way of lighting your videos in some way, shape, or form, adding something small to your kit that you can carry around. Maybe you're into video conferencing or something like that as well. Let's take a look at this Lume Cube Panel Mini. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite tiny little tools that I have, and I'm going to tell you why. Lume Cube's relatively new Panel Mini is a small bi-colored light that helps you light up your videos in a variety of ways. Just like the back of the box says, with 60 bi-colored LEDs, fully adjustable controls, and an intelligent LCD display screen, you'll be able to capture premium content and bring your creative visions to life. Well, I have pretty much found that the same thing is true. And really, this is just a simple product. This review's not really crazy long. I love this thing. There's not a ton inside the box. There's really not a crazy amount of things we need to get into. If you like this type of stuff, I think that this is an amazing buy. I mean, just like, look at this thing. Here's the regular, this is what it looks like straight out of the box. This is my phone. Look at how tiny it is. And it's very thin also. And it just, you know, lights up my life, really. Like the song says. And I'm going to get into typical Teegarden review, tell you what I like, what I don't like, how I could use this thing, the things I think are pretty cool about it. Let's get down to business, shall we? When we're looking at what's inside the box, I'm really just struck by how simple this product is. There really isn't a lot to it. You know, inside, obviously, you've got the light itself. You've got a USB-C charging cable, which is nice. I'm amassing quite a collection of these types of things, but everything seems to be going that direction, which is something that's pretty helpful. Instead of AC/DC power, we have a variety of ways that we can power and charge our stuff. So another USB-C. We've got this cool little cold shoe mount that you can put onto a variety of accessories here. This thing's cool. I don't really use this that often because I have a bunch of other little rigging things to stick on my cage, but if you don't have them, that is essential. And then you have this silicone little sleeve here, kind of diffusion. I'll talk about this in a second. It's probably one of my favorite parts of this light. But that's it. Small package, small product. Let's move on to some of the features that we've got here. Now, this light is variable temperature, which means that you can set the Kelvin range or how warm or cold this light is going to be. Now, right now, I'm set at about 4,600 Kelvin. This is kind of just a nice, even, right in the middle, not too yellow, not too blue type of a light. But this one goes from 3,200 to 5,600 Kelvin. So your standard tungsten and daylight temperature settings. And you can go all the way in between, you know, by 100 Kelvin increments. It's also variable intensity as well. So you can start to crank up the intensity of this thing from 0 to 100%. And I found that it actually incremental hits on these things are actually really accurate. It also has a nice battery monitor on the back of the LCD screen, which is really helpful to see how long your light is going to last depending on the intensity that you've set for the light itself. So obviously the higher the intensity that you're shooting, the closer to 100% intensity, the less time you're going to have on this battery. But I tend to run it around 10 to 15%, and you get, you know, 3-ish hours out of a small light like this out of continuous shooting, which I'm never continuously shooting for 3 hours at a time. So this thing really lasts quite a long time. One of my favorite features is this silicone diffusion that they've got in here. I didn't think or buy that it would actually work that well, but it really does. I'm surprised at how well this thing works. So really the thing is that you just kind of slide this light inside this silicone diffusion. It's got your knockouts for 1/4 screws and then the control panel on the side. So it's specifically designed for this particular light. And I know that Aperture MX and some of the other smaller aperture lights have this same thing too. I just thought that it was a gimmick, but it actually does a pretty decent job of diffusing the light through this nice little silicone kind of casing, right? So here's what it looks like. This is 5% intensity. I've got 11 hours of runtime off 5% intensity. And so you can see with the diffusion, it's just a nice, like, even light. If I take this off, it's definitely a harsher light source. That's just not something that would be really useful. Harsh light is something that I rarely need, although sometimes it does come in handy. But really, I just want, you know, nice, even, flattering light for what I'm doing. So you can see the difference between the two. And this is obviously, for the most part, something that you would prefer. Now, aside of the things that I mentioned between it being variable temperature, variable intensity, and the silicone diffusion, the other thing that I like, which seems pretty obvious, but when you start to get into carrying this thing around and taking it with you, the small size is really just such an awesome asset to have. This thing is really so small that I can put it in anywhere in my camera bag and take it with me. And it's amazing that I have this like tiny little light source whenever I need it that doesn't take up a bunch of room in my camera bag. So it pretty much just goes with me everywhere I want. You know, I've used some of the Bowling P1s and Pixel, whatever, G1, whatever these things are, and they're not huge, but they definitely take up a considerable amount of space, especially when you compare it to how small this guy is. This really is like a little bit larger than some of the batteries I have for my camera or for my drone, and so it just kind of sits in that same spot. I tend to put it where my filters are, and when I need something like that, I just grab it quickly, put it on the camera, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So I think I can't really overstate how important the small, compact size, when you combine that with how nice this light looks, is really just an awesome little asset, especially when you consider this thing's $100. Like, I don't really know that you're going to be able to beat something like that. So how could you use a product like this? I think the obvious thing is most people will just mount it on the top of their camera and start to use it in smaller, compact spaces where lighting is not as desirable as you would want it to be. I've started to use this a lot inside studios and like vocal booths when I get close to different subjects. Vocal booths definitely don't have a ton of light being thrown around in there. And while I still want to keep the mood, I want to be able to have good definition of what my subject looks like. The other application I've been using this is for product photography, product videography. In one of two applications, I'm either throwing light on my backdrop or on the wall itself, gives some separation between the product and the lighting. And the other thing I've been using it quite a bit for in smaller products is to backlight the product and create kind of a silhouette effect. This thing is small enough that it can kind of be hidden behind most of the products that I've been shooting. And if that's the look I'm going for, so kind of this like backlit photography type of thing, which I do a lot in these videos especially, this thing kind of is my go-to for being able to kind of backlight silhouette the subject itself. It's small enough to be hidden, yet it's quality enough light that I want to be using it for those applications. Now, if you found this video, you're probably trying to figure out if this light would work for video conferencing. And while I don't use this myself for video conferencing, I have used it in other applications. We're definitely in a world where video conferencing is the norm, whether you're using it for work, whether you're using it for school, whether you're using it just to hang out with friends and family on the weekends or during the week. This thing is kind of being marketed to help solve that problem. Zoom fatigue is definitely a thing, and the one thing that actually helps quite a bit is trying to create a better video experience, and the one thing that will create a better video experience is nicer lighting. So this is actually what I use when my kids are doing school. I kind of put this behind their little iPad or computer setup that they've got going on, and it really makes the picture a lot better. Hey, dude. Hey, bro. What's going on? What's that? Hey, man. It's like real hard to see you, dude. Oh, I forgot to turn on my my lighting here. That's amazing. What did you do there? Yeah, no, it's the Lume Cube Panel Mini. So if you've been looking for a way to kind of up your Zoom call game, if you do them a lot, if you're doing some streaming stuff, and you're looking for a way to just give kind of a little bit of an edge and make your picture look nicer, this is the perfect addition to what you've been using that's going to be able to give you a wide variety of movement, because you can just place this on the back of your computer or hang it on the wall or something like that. And it really, really dramatically improves the look of your video, as you saw in that dumb little example that I put over there. So look, $100 for this thing, I think is just an unbelievable deal for the quality light that you're getting and the versatility that you get out of something that's so small. Whether you're a videographer, a photographer, if you're a streamer, if you're an educator, or you're just looking for a way to up your video conferencing game, I don't really think you can go wrong with something like this. The battery lasts forever, it's compact, it's quality, variable temperature lighting, variable intensity lighting. I mean, we went all over all this stuff, but for $100, I don't think you're gonna be able to beat it. So yeah, that's what I think, man. I just really love this thing. It's been going with me everywhere. I've been traveling a lot more lately, and this is just the perfect addition to my kit that helps me kind of make it look better. I guess that's really what they're supposed to do. All right, if you like this, like the damn video. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and ringing the bell for post notifications. Ladies and germs, this is Robert Teegarden with another video in the can. We'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging out. Peace.